What's good, guys? Fantasy Joe back here on a mock draft Monday. Today, I am doing a hero RB running back build. Randomly selected our draft spot. We're picking at the 103. I'm going to go ahead and take Christian McCaffrey here. Okay, so hero RB, just to explain it a little bit, basically you are going to pin yourself to a stud running back in the first 5 rounds. And then as the rest of your draft goes, you're basically going to stack wide receivers, tight ends, quarterback, those types of positions. Basically, a lot of wide receivers, a lot, and a premium tight end if you can get one. Target those premium pass catchers in your draft before you take your next running back. Usually your next running back will be the 6th round or later in this type of build. I do support if you're going to do a hero RB draft or any of these types of drafts, though, there should be a point where, regardless of position, you're willing to take a certain running back in round 3. Don't tie yourself into just one draft strategy, but I do think these templates can really help your thinking, and it's good to see how these teams build out when you utilize one of these draft strategies like hero RB. I also posted a zero RB mock draft on the channel. Check that out if you guys are interested. I'm also going to be bringing our robust RB mock draft soon, so check all that stuff out on the channel. For sure, make sure you hit that subscribe button and stick around. Have mock drafts every Monday. Updated rankings coming soon. League winners already on the channel. Just posted my sleepers and my busts. You're going to check out both those videos. Make sure you draft the sleepers. Make sure you avoid the busts. If you want to hit your league, if you want to win your league, hit that subscribe button. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comment section down below. I'll respond as always. Appreciate likes as well. Really helps out the algorithm as well as the comments. So I appreciate any of that. So this draft so far has gone JT, Justin Jefferson, Christian McCaffrey, Cooper Kupp, Austin Eckler, Derrick Henry, Najee, Kamara, Jamar, Cook, Adams, Diggs, Joe Mixon, DeAndre Swift, and Deebo Samuel. This is a PPR draft as well, just to point that out there. And honestly, really happy with Christian McCaffrey. I do think Christian McCaffrey is going to fall in a lot of leagues. He's my number 1 player just because his upside's so high. Very few players in fantasy football, in the history of fantasy football, have the situation where if they are healthy, you have such a high chance to win your league. I think if he's healthy all year, even gives you 14, 15 games, full go, I think you're going to have a guy who could – I think you probably have a 50% chance or so to win your fantasy football league, honestly, with how good Christian McCaffrey is. So that's why he's worthy of the swing for me at those top of the drafts. I'm not trying to come in 3rd in my league. I'm trying to win my league, and Christian McCaffrey is the single biggest difference maker when he's on the field in fantasy football. All running backs get hurt, so I'm not going to let that affect my draft strategy. I don't think Christian McCaffrey is an injury-prone player. I don't think his injuries are connected. Okay, our draft pick is coming up now. Aaron Jones, Fournette, CD, and Travis Kelce just went off the board. Taking a look at who's still available, Mark Andrews would be an interesting guy if he could get to us. The wide receiver position, love Mike Evans, like T. Higgins as well. Mark Andrews went. That is a bummer for sure, but we will be fine. I'm going to go ahead and take Mike Evans here. Really like Mike Evans, like him a slightly less in half-point PPR, but he's by far my highest-ranked wide receiver, and it's too early in the draft for me to reach on a tight end here. I do like Kyle Pitts, but with Marcus Mariota currently in Atlanta, it's a bit too early for me. I do think Pitts will have a good year, be a difference maker, but with an early 3rd-round pick, I still have an option to a lot of these elite receivers, and to me, I'm going to take one of them before I take Pitts, even though Pitts definitely has more upside. I feel like when I already have McCaffrey, I want a little bit more safety. Mike Evans, reason being, 60% target share last year, lost a lot of guys in Tampa. AB gone, Gronk retired, Chris Godwin tore his ACL. They added Julio, but Mike Evans, only guy there from last year, has 1,000 yards every year in his career and is a touchdown monster. So, liked him there. Keenan Allen is tempting in full-point PPR. I am actually going to take T. Higgins here, though. I think he's like my wide receiver 11. Have him ranked pretty highly. He's basically Jamar Chase light when you look at the numbers on the per snap basis. Averaged 13 points per game last year in half-point PPR. Obviously, it's a full-point PPR league, but I think he also offers excellent touchdown upside with a quarterback like Joe Burrow. And if they are going to go more pass heavy this year, which is possible with the offensive line improvements that they've made, he could be an absolute slam pick. I love getting him in the third round of drafts. So pretty early, but I'm still comfortable taking him here with this hero RB build. Now I have 2 stud wide receivers and Christian McCaffrey. I will probably be looking to fill out that tight end position in round 4 or 5 if I can get somebody good. If not, I might wait a little bit, see if I can snag Dalton Schultz late. I think he'll get a good amount of volume in this Dallas Cowboys offense, the way it's currently constructed. With CeeDee Lamb there, Amari Cooper is obviously departed. Michael Gallup, torn ACL, likely to miss the start of the season. A lot of targets to go around there, and Schultz and CD are the only guys that Dak really has an established connection with. So I think they'll both be good to start the season. Oh, another talking point, Antonio Gibson, obviously a very rough offseason for him, working on kickoffs now. And Brian Robinson went with the first team. Brian Robinson is likely the starter. I do think Antonio Gibson could earn his way back into this backfield, and if anything happened to Brian Robinson, I think he'd certainly have a fantasy role again, and he could be the most fantasy relevant back on this team by the end of the season. Wouldn't surprise me at all. But all that said, the fact that Brian Robinson, if he's not the starter, no matter what, is going to eat a big chunk of this first and second down work. I think that is basically written on the wall now. And yeah, that just really lowers Antonio Gibson's upside. I'm really fading him in drafts. Really don't want to draft him at all, basically, the way I'm currently constructing my teams. Another running back we can talk about for some preseason action. This guy, though, on the positive front, Dameon Pierce was held out of the Texans' recent postseason game because they believe that he is the starter. That's the word on the street. I do believe this. I think he's the best back there by far. It's a little ludicrous to me that he wasn't already the starter, basically. But, here we are. I wonder what their projections look like for Jerry Jeudy. I know he's down here, but where is he? Sutton. Oh, Jeudy went in round 3 in this draft. Wow, that is high. That is rich. Honestly, my best case scenario here in round 4, if Courtland Sutton could get to me, I'd absolutely love that pick. Mike Williams, I believe, is already gone. Yes, he just went. He's another guy, so now he's get to me in round 4 that I absolutely love taking. If you could get Courtland Sutton or Mike Williams in round 4, I think you're smashing that round. I really do. I think those are the best values in that round by far. Love stacking those players. Marquise Brown, a guy that sometimes I get to in the 5th. Might go a little earlier in this draft, but another guy I would love to draft. Hopefully, we can maybe snag a tight end here as well. Maybe get our hands on George Kittle in the 5th. That's what I'm hoping for with the current build. I think that would be a great roster. Sutton went, of course he did. Brown is still on the board, though. So you got options. Not worried by any means, and that's how your drafts are going to go. You just got to be willing to pivot and go to your next guy. That's how these drafts go a lot of times. Zeke in round 4 is an excellent pick. I don't know why he is going so late, but I really do like that pick. I just think with Dallas' current roster, there's not really a situation where I don't see Ezekiel Elliott being a pretty big part of their offensive game plan. Okay, I will take Marquise Brown here. Put him into my flex. He gets those first 6 weeks of the season with DeAndre Hopkins suspended, where he should get off to a really hot start. And I like his fantasy prospects after that, too, just because of the skill set he has of going deep. And Kyler Murray's a great deep ball thrower, comparing one of the worst deep ball throwers in all of football with Lamar Jackson. I think that's a huge plus for him. Okay, so taking a look at who's still out there. Mahomes is on the board. No, thank you. Give me George Kittle here in the 5th. Stick him in that tight end spot. Still a difference maker when he's on the field. And that tight end spot for fantasy can give you those monster games that very few tight ends can provide. I love the value on Kittle in the 5th round as well. I'll be thinking about quarterback moving forward as well, so starting to fill that second RB spot. Now I'm through my first 5 rounds. Still some really good receiving options on the board. Still some good running back options on the board as well, too. Honestly, I really do like this strategy. If you can, Hero RB might be my favorite build of the strict build as far as our robust RB, Hero RB, and zero RB builds go. Obviously, there's Hero QB too. I rarely take a QB that early. There's a situation where I'm comfortable taking Josh Allen in the fourth, although honestly, I think I just passed on Josh Allen in the fourth. For Marquise Brown, I do think Josh Allen's a difference maker. But there's other quarterbacks I like that can get really late that I think have top 5 upside, and I'm going to probably swing the bat on those guys and take these high quality receivers and running backs in these earlier rounds. Let me plug my computer in here, get some juice going. Gabe Davis and Juju Smith-Schuster both go in the 5th round. I do think their upside is worthy of them going there. I do think I'd take Juju probably ahead of Gabriel Davis in a full-point PPR league, just because I think he has a better chance at a higher number of receptions. I think Gabe Davis has a slightly higher touchdown upside. Antonio Gibson still on the board. Like I said, he's a guy I am completely fading. Even in the 7th round, I'm probably good. I don't know where I would take Antonio Gibson in drafts because I do think everyone becomes a value at a certain point, but I don't think he's going to be the guy at the beginning of the season. I think he could gain that role back at some point. But when will that be? Will I want to hold him for those weeks? I really don't feel like I will. I think maybe in the 8th round I'd consider him, but I don't think I would take a 7th round pick on him. That's me personally, though. Okay. Let's take a look at what kind of running back options I do have on the board currently. I do like Clyde as an RB2 because he's the starter currently in KC. You know what? I will take him in a full-point PPR. Give me Clyde. Ramondre Stevenson hopefully will come back around. He does. I would be interested in A.J. Dillon, but he's so far down the list. I'm hoping I might be able to snag him in the next round. I don't think I'll be able to, but in a full point PPR, I do think Ramondre Stevenson will be a 3rd down back in New England this season, and I'm very comfortable taking him ahead of Damian Harris. Another guy that was in my sleepers video. You guys should check that video out for sure if you want to dominate your friends and family in fantasy football, that is. A lot of running back options I'm really still excited about. I love that I was able to add those 2 guys. I feel like I've honestly got some solid options at the position. Still a lot of good quarterbacks left on the board as well, so I do think I'll be able to give a difference maker there and not have to invest a ton of draft capital either. Damian Pierce in the 7th round, I do think he should be going pretty high in drafts. I think that was a nice selection there. Yeah, I did my money league draft the other day, so I'll be coming on a video shortly talking about the results of that league, breaking all that down. That'll be a fun one, so stick around for that video. Uh, yeah, you can see what happens when I'm in an actual draft, not a mock draft, for money, and what kind of players I am taking in a high stakes league. Russ went in round 8. That was very early for him. I do think he's worth it at that draft range. I'd take him out of Dak Prescott, that's for sure. Um, but I actually just took Russ in the 8th round in that money league I was talking about. But I'm comfortable taking him in the 7th round. I just think there was a lot of guys left on the board, so I'm a little surprised he went so early. But yeah, in hero RB builds, I do think just because of the running back options that there are in like the 6th and 7th round, if I'm not taking a tight end, that's the only pro situation I think I'd be taking, or early QB. In a situation where I am taking a tight end, I'm probably just going to keep stacking running backs in those 6th and 7th and 8th rounds because of the build and because of the options I'm going to have there compared to the options at the end of the draft. I'd rather take a few more receivers at the end of the draft or a quarterback. I think the replacement value is better once those running back options like Clyde and Ramondre, I think, can be starters every week. But after those guys go, it goes quick. So, okay, Stafford's still on the board. Trey Lance is who I want. Hopefully I can get one more round before he goes. It'll all depend on whether these guys have quarterbacks or not, honestly. Taking a look at the running backs, there is one guy I really like. I'm actually going to just take my quarterback here. I'll give me Trey Lance. I think he can be a difference maker in San Francisco with his running ability. And then I think he would have gone. Actually, I guess they would have taken Stafford, but you never know. I'll sweep back and snag James Cook. I love James Cook in zero RB and hero RB builds, and as one of those RB2 spots, because in PPR leagues, you know he's going to be that pass catching down back. He was a 2nd-round draft pick. That's high draft capital at the running back position for a great offense. I think he's just going, frankly, way too late in drafts, especially 9th round in a PPR league. I think it's an absolute smash steal. Stamp that. Yeah, really excited there. Chase Claypool, another guy I think I'm fading this year just because all the positive news from George Pickens makes me wonder what this target share is going to look like this year. Obviously, Pat Freiermuth, another guy there, just a lot of cooks in that kitchen. And they don't have an elite quarterback, although I do think Mitch or Kenny, whoever ends up playing most of the year, will be good this year, or better than people anticipate. I don't know if they're going to be a true difference maker and a guy that's able to have multiple top fantasy options. So it'll be very interesting to see how that target share breaks down this year. We'll do a few more rounds here. Chris Olave written round 10. Absolutely love him as a draft pick. Just because draft capital is so high, what the New Orleans Saints have invested in him, the opportunity on that team for the number 2 wide receiver, even if Michael Thomas is healthy, and Michael Thomas just had a hamstring pull, they're holding him out again. I think Chris Olave's skill set, he's a nuanced route runner, a skilled player, and he ran a 4.3, high 4.3s at the combine. He's a guy who'll be able to get open deep down the field, and I think Jameis wants that guy in this offense. I think he'll get a good amount of targets with the draft capital that he got. One more pick, and then we will be up. Not super interested in a lot of these running backs on the board currently. Let me check out all the positions. Get a lay of the land. I do think Landry's interested in a full-point PPR if Michael Thomas is actually going to end up missing time. I think I'll do these last 2 picks, and then we will end the mock draft here. You guys will get a really good idea of the start of these teams and how I want to build it. taking the last guys in the 13th, 14th round, it does matter, and I've done that in a lot of mocks, but yeah, not the most interesting thing there is. You know what? With the current wide receivers on the board, I will, probably take some more swings at that running back position. Give me Nyheim Hines in a full point PPR. He's a guy, worst case scenario, is a solid RB2. And I like Julio Jones, and I think he's got an opportunity. Obviously, I have Mike Evans, so I'm going to pass on him, but I do think he has an opportunity in this offense with their current roster construction. If Chris Godwin's not ready to hit the ground running, he could be a big target to start the year. I'll take George Pickens, though. I love the upside of him late, and just like taking swings on big-time positions like that. So let's take a look at the roster before we wrap this video up. So at quarterback, we've got Trey Lance, Christian McCaffrey at running back. He's our hero RB. Then we took Clyde in that 6. We're able to stack receivers like Evans, Higgins, and Marquise Brown in that flex spot, and then stack a tight end like George Kittle in that 5th round. Add some great running backs to our bench that can help, as the preseason progresses, hopefully continue to get better and more involved and fill that RB2 spot with a potential difference maker. Ramondre Stevenson, James Cook, Nyheim Hines, and I took Pickens in that last round. So that's how a hero RB draft goes. I really do like this team. I think it's a team that can win fantasy football games for sure. If you guys have made it to this point in the video, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and if you have any questions or comments, drop them in the comment section down below. I'll respond as always. This has been Fantasy Joe. Thank you guys for watching.